Coming up, the 2020 election is officially under a year away, so we're taking a deep dive into all the political action that took place across Iowa over the weekend.
Field hockey clinched a Big Ten title over the weekend.
And we finally have an answer on Jordan Bohannon's status this season.
Find out in just a few minutes.
Now that it's November, it's going to be getting darker outside sooner and the temperatures are going to get colder. How cold will it get this week? Stay tuned for weather to find out.
All that and more coming up on this politically packed edition of DITV News. Don't go anywhere, DITV starts right now. Good morning and thank you for tuning in. I'm Abby Napolis. Iowans are getting a taste of Washington, D.C. as things continue to heat up before the 2020 presidential election. 11 different Democratic candidates worked their way throughout Iowa over the weekend. All the candidates met under one roof on Saturday night at Drake University in Des Moines to speak at the NAACP Presidential Forum. The candidates spent the rest of the weekend spreading across the state for town halls and public awareness. Senator Elizabeth Warren stopped by the first annual Finneker Fish Fry in Cedar Falls to speak about the importance of rural America.
Around this, right? Because I think the question about the economic future of rural America is powerfully important. I believe that you ought to be able to build a strong economic future, whatever zip code you live in America, and that we should make an investment to make that happen. And let me just tell you where I start when I think about the economy in rural America. I start with community hospitals and the importance of keeping rural hospitals viable and open.
Warren also released her anticipated Medicare for All payment plan over the weekend. Many of her fellow candidates were anxiously awaiting to hear how she plans to pay for her policy, but not all of them were impressed by what she had to offer. Former Vice President Joe Biden voiced his opinion on the topic while speaking in Des Moines on Saturday.
Just get real with numbers. It's a very difficult way to get there, what she's talking about. And the idea that she can get the cost down to 20 trillion is, I don't know, I mean, look, even 20 trillion, where'd she get the money? Look, she's a good person. I just think getting that plan through, even a Democratic Congress, be difficult, and we can get it done immediately by building on Obamacare. That's my point.
Biden's own Medicare policy is an expansion of the current Obamacare program that would add an option available to all Americans. The former VP also opened a campaign office in Des Moines over the weekend. With the election now under a year away, things will only get more and more exciting here in Iowa. After a very interesting and fun-packed Halloween weekend, we are now into the weeks of October, so let's toss it over to Melissa in the weather studio to see how that is going.
Thanks, Abby. Today's weather won't be too bad, but it is going to be windy. We're going to have a high of 48 degrees with winds around 15 miles per hour and partly cloudy skies. As we head into tonight, the temperature will drop to 29 degrees and we'll keep those same partly cloudy skies from earlier. Now let's take a look at the extended forecast. Tomorrow will be partly cloudy with a high of 42 and a low of 35. On Wednesday, it will be partly cloudy with a high of 52 and winds around 12 miles per hour. On Thursday, it will be sunny with a high in the low 30s, and on Friday, it will be sunny with a high in the mid 30s. Then this weekend, on Saturday, it will be partly cloudy and warm up a little bit to the mid 40s. Since today's going to be so windy, you might want to grab your windbreaker before heading outside. Abby, back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Melissa. The fight for the Democratic presidential nomination now has one less contender. Former Texas Representative Beto ORourke announced on Friday that he has dropped out of the 2020 presidential race. The announcement came a few hours before ORourke appeared at a dinner in Des Moines, where he explained his decision to his supporters.
This is a campaign that has prided itself on seeing things clearly and on speaking honestly and on acting decisively. We have to clearly see at this point that we do not have the means to pursue this campaign successfully.
The announcement came as a surprise to many of his voters, as his presence early in the campaign was strong. Last year, polls placed O'Rourke as a top 3 candidate for the 2020 election. While O'Rourke hasn't directly explained that the troubles that led him to dropping out of the race, sources report a lack of funding that brought advertising staffing to a halt. The former senator doesn't plan on disappearing entirely and hopes to direct his supporters towards the next best candidate.
Though this is the end of this campaign, we are right in the middle of this fight. I will do everything that I can to support the eventual nominee of this party with everything that I've got, and I encourage every single one of you to do the same.
The political action made its way over to Iowa City as well. 2020 candidate Andrew Yang opened a campaign office in town over the weekend. Yang met with a crowd of over 100 locals on Saturday night to celebrate the grand opening. The campaign's press secretary also announced a new communications manager for Iowa would be hired soon. Yang has also worked to establish a strong presence throughout Iowa leading up to caucuses, with his first TV ad launching in-state last week. This is Yang's 3rd office in Iowa, with others located in Davenport and Des Moines. Well, just like the weather, we are transitioning into winter, so let's toss it over to Tiana and Kim in the sports studio with more.
Thanks, Abby. The Iowa field hockey team clinched a share of the Big Ten title yesterday after their win against Michigan.
The Hawkeyes went 7-1 in their conference and is splitting the title with Maryland.
This is the first time the team has won a Big Ten conference title since 2004.
They head to the Big Ten tournament on Thursday as the number 2 seed playing the number 7 seeded Ohio State Buckeyes.
While the field hockey season is winding down, basketball is just heating up.
That's right, Kim. The Iowa Hawkeyes women's basketball team took the court in an exhibition this weekend and looked dominant throughout.
Led by senior Kathleen Doyle and sophomore Monica Sanano, the Hawks defeated Winona State 98-53 with 27 points from Doyle and 20 from Sanano.
It looks like Iowa's new offense has been picked up fast by the team.
But the real proof will be when we play against somebody that's a really good defensive team that really makes us run our offense. Today we could kind of get a lot of things just because we wanted to.
If we can try to get if we have a good shot, we're trying to get our teammates a better shot. So that's what this offense is really all about, and it's really fun to play with a lot of really good shooters too.
The team opens up their season at Carver against Florida Atlantic on Thursday. But moving over to men's basketball, one huge question looms over the program as the season begins. Is Jordan Bohannon going to be able to play?
Hawkeye fans were concerned after having hip surgery in the off-season that left questions about the ability to perform this season. After a lot of speculation, it was announced that Bohannon will be playing in the exhibition game against Lindsey Wilson College.
You can catch the game tonight at 7 at Carver Hawkeye Arena. This wraps up an exciting weekend of Hawkeye sports.
Check back in tomorrow to see how the men's basketball team fared in their exhibition game.
Abby, back to you at the desk.
Thank you, ladies. While Christmas isn't for a little while longer, one little drummer boy is marching to the beat of his own drum this marching band season. 5-year-old Jeremiah Travis from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, has been coined a drumming prodigy by those around him, and it's easy to see why. Hardly in elementary school, Jeremiah is a member of the St. Helena High School band drumline. He started drumming at only 2 when he would play his own drum to go against the visiting bands across the field at games. Because of this skill, Jeremiah's family says he plans on rat-a-tat-tatting his way all the way through college. That's all we have for you this Monday morning edition of DITV News. Be sure to head over to dailyiowan.com for all your latest news between Monday and Friday. And if that isn't enough of the Daily Iowan for you, be sure to check out our print edition of the news on stands now. For DITV News, I'm Abby Napolis. Have a great day, Iowa City.